Good evening. Welcome to our annual Student Community Service Awards. And we're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm going to ask the coach of the Bayshore team, Coach Parnham, if he would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir. See, he's good on his feet. So tonight, as you've heard, and they're coming in now, we are so fortunate to have some of the finest schools filled with tremendously talented students and athletes. Each year during April, we designate our town board meeting to celebrate these wonderful students in our town at our Student Community Service Awards celebration. And to start things off, tonight, we are joined by the stellar players and coaches of the Bayshore High School boys varsity basketball team. The Bayshore Marauders, and town board, if you would all come join us. The Marauders recently clinched their first Long Island AAA championship in over 40 years. So we heard some Go Shore cheers out there, so we have some Bayshore residents in the house. The Bayshore Marauders recently clinched their first Long Island AAA championship, as I said, in over 40 years. After an incredible undefeated season with a record of 24-0, the Marauders took a 66-45 victory over Baldwin. Yay, I'm so glad it wasn't one of our Town of Islip teams. They were the Nassau County champions. Under the leadership of Coach Ken Parham. Coach, a bow. And our official Pledge of Allegiance reciter for the evening. Under his leadership, the Marauders' cohesive teamwork and balanced scoring led to their success with their first Long Island championship since 1981, 43 years. So please join us in congratulating Bayshore High School's varsity boys basketball team on their historic season and their victory. Go Marauders. So I'd like to read off their names, and Coach, if you would just take their certificates. Jonathan Boake, Kamari Bloomfeld, or Field, Tyler Brown, Deshaun Bumpers, I don't believe he's here, but Max DeBonis, Isaiah DeBarry, Corey Faines, Niall Hogney, Brandon Hunter, Rashid Murdoch, Kingsley Rogers, Armani Smith, Christian Smiley, Jordan Tyler, and certainly, last but not least, Carter Wilson. Joining us tonight also is the athletic director, Chris Agostino, and of course, as I mentioned, head coach Ken Parham. And the assistant coaches are Will Dortone, Gary Williams, and Joe Acuri. And I do believe with us tonight, too, is the principal of Bayshore, Stephen Gordon. Coach, would you like to say a few words?
I would just like to thank everyone for acknowledging our team. They're very special young men. They did a great year. We had great support from our community and our county, and we really appreciate it. It's well deserved. They did a great job.
obviously. And it doesn't happen with a lot of hard work, dedication, and of course, leadership. So if everyone would want to gather, we'll get a group shot of the team.
You're welcome. Congratulations, that's excellent.
That was really a good save.
Recover.
Good save. Good recovery there, Carol. Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, we're so fortunate in our town to be home to so many standout schools and students. And tonight we're celebrating 17 future leaders who have demonstrated academic excellence and made positive contributions in our communities. If the town board would join me at the podium as we prepare to recognize these truly amazing students. And as we call your names, if you'd come forward, we'll get a quick photo and present you with your certificate. And we will begin by councilmanic districts, and we're going to start with Councilman McElway. If you would please come forward.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to read a little bit about the students from Bayshore High School and Islip High School. We'll start Natalie Quinzwizica. Natalie is a junior at Bayshore High School, demonstrates her commitment to leadership, development, and service. Her involvement in providing counseling services at the high school showcases her dedication to supporting her peers and her active participation to the youth in the community and the homeless reflects her unwavering dedication to making a lasting positive impact within our community. Congratulations, Natalie.
Natalie, stay up, because we'll get you.
So, our next honoree is Justina Aswasu Safo. Justina is a dedicated senior at Bayshore High School. As president of the National Honor Society, she takes on a leadership role in organizing and facilitating community service initiatives. She also demonstrates her passion for assisting English language learner ELL students in acclimating to their new school and community, ensuring that all students feel welcome and supported. Congratulations, Justina. Our next honoree, J.C. Narducci. J.C. is a senior at Islip High School, serving as both a junior commissioner of Keep Islip Clean and an officer of Islip High School's Keep Islip Clean Environmental Club. J.C. actively participates in townwide cleanups, coastal cleanups, and recycling programs. As president of the Interact Club, J.C. promotes volunteerism, and her participation in programs like Spark and the Women in Science and Engineering program reflects her commitment to personal growth and academic excellence. Congratulations. I know. And then our final honoree, Emily Lewis. There was a chance Emily is playing a softball game and may not be able to make it, but I'll just give you a little bit of a background. Emily Lewis is a senior at Islip High School, a student athlete playing a game right now, with many extracurricular activities. One of the highlights is serving as the student union president. Emily organizes events ensuring an inclusive school atmosphere. Emily's compassionate nature shines throughout her involvement in bereavement camps, where she provides invaluable support to children grappling with the loss of a loved one. Congratulations to Emily.
I want you to get up there with them.
Okay.
Is there someone here cheering for Emily? I thought so. Why don't you come up and accept this on her behalf? And as I mentioned earlier, here you go. Thank you. From Bayshore High School, we have the principal, Stephen Gordon. So, Principal Gordon, why don't you join us? And if there are any teachers from Bayshore or Islip who would like to join in the photo, please do. Okay, thank you so much, Councilman McElway. And next we will go to Council District 1, and that would be Councilman Guadrone. If you would please come forward and recognize the students from Brentwood High School.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes. I have the honor to introduce to you Eileen Reyes, please. Eileen Reyes is a freshman at the Brentwood Freshman Center. She generously shares her beautiful voice, in addition to her physical prettiness, by singing at various school events throughout the year and performs for residents of the Ross Nursing Home and other locations. Eileen demonstrates true passion for music and willingness to bring warmth and cheer to those in need. Please, let's congratulate Eileen. Our next honoree is Angel Rojas. Welcome. Angel is a senior at Brentwood High School Sunderly Center. As an active member of Troop 371, Angel has achieved the prestigious rank of Eagle Scout. He has organized food donations, gathering over 1,200 pounds of food. Additionally, Angel's Eagle Scout project led to the construction of a new Welcome to Brentwood sign, leaving a lasting impact on his hometown. Please help me congratulate Angel. Our next honoree is Kaylin Ruiz. Kaylin is a senior at Brentwood High School Sunderly Center also. She assists with Compassion in Action, making a meaningful impact on those facing food insecurity, and volunteers at her church. Kaylin also holds and serves as Secretary of the Sunderland Center's National Honor Society. As one of the top 10 students in her graduating class, Kaylin's dedication to both her studies and her community sets a shining example of her peers. So please help us congratulate Kaylin. Our next honoree, Marianne Esmati. I don't know if she's playing softball, but she wouldn't be able to make it here this afternoon. But she's a freshman at the Brentwood Freshman Center. She spearheaded the Thanksgiving food drive and steps up for tutoring sessions, or organizing after-school activities. Marianne is also a board member of the high school student council. She was unable to join us in person tonight, but we will make sure that she gets this award. Please congratulate Miriam. Thank you.
And we have the Assistant Superintendent, Matt Gangler. They highlighted it right through, couldn't read it. Also, Dr. Deshana Doolan, the principal of Sonderling. Viniator from the Freshman Center, principal. And I think that takes care of it. Can someone get this to Miriam? Oh, perfect. Thanks so much. Good seeing you, too.
Congratulations.
Okay, and next we move out east to Bayport, Blue Point High School and Sable High School, and those honorees are going to be recognized by Councilman John Lorenzo.
Thank you, Supervisor. Good evening, everyone. Some of these honorees have been crushing my kitchen for the past few years, so they're kind of close to my heart. But I believe that my first honoree from Bayport High School is not here, but I'm going to read her accolades. Quinn Carroll is a senior at Bayport Blue Point High School. As a prominent figure in the annual Kris Kringle event, he helps raise funds to support families in need. Through his selfless efforts, including anonymous acts of kindness, Quinn exemplifies the values of empathy and generosity, leaving a lasting impression on those around him. If someone we can give a round of applause for Quinn. When he gets here, we'll get that Quinn. My second Bayport Blue Point High School senior is Marissa Carney. Marissa takes charge in organizing and actively participating in various community service activities such as food drives and PS I Love You Day events and working with young children. Through her selfless efforts, Marissa exemplifies the importance of service and leaves a positive impact on those around her. We're going to move over to Sable. Kate Lemanuel. Kate, as I call her, Catherine in my house, is a senior at Sable High School. She demonstrates remarkable dedication to volunteerism and community involvement through her creation of the program Renewing Tote. Kate and her cousin established the program to support children entering the foster care system. Kate also organizes fundraisers to generate the necessary funds to assemble these Renewing Totes. Kate's selflessness and commitment to making a positive impact exemplify the spirit of compassionate leadership. Congratulations, Kate. My last Sable senior is Maddie McKillop. Maddie, get here. There she is. Maddie McKillop is a senior, Madeline Maddie McKillop, I apologize, is a senior at Sable High School. Despite being a three-sport varsity athlete, Maddie actively engages in various clubs and service organizations, such as peer leader membership of the Key Club, a volunteer at blood drives, and her role in Leadership Club. Maddie's philanthropic spirit shines through her volunteering efforts, exemplifying true leadership and compassion. Congratulations, Maddie. Thank you all.
Sure. If the family would like to come join us. Okay, next we move to Councilman Jim O'Connor, and he will be presenting the student honorees from Central Islip and East Islip. Jim?
Thank you, Supervisor. Anissa Spahn. Anissa is a senior at Central Islip High School. She is a member of CI Connects for Change, serves as a junior commissioner for Keep Islip Clean, organizes Breakfast with Santa events, and participates in student council activities. Her efforts showcase her compassion and initiative in making a positive impact both locally and globally. Congratulations, Anissa. Christopher Hidalgo. Christopher is a senior at Central Islip High School. He has beautified campuses across the Central Islip School District with his vibrant murals. Christopher's dedication to serving others shines through his involvement in the National Honor Society and his participation in the Student Action Committee. Christopher's diverse contributions highlight his unwavering dedication to both artistic expression and community betterment. Congratulations, Christopher. Lindsay Rosas. Lindsay is a senior at East Islip High School. As a student helper, she assists students in special education. Her extensive involvement in extracurricular activities includes memberships in various clubs, such as the National Art Honor Society, the Photography Club, the Foreign Language Honor Society, the Art Club, Peer Support, SAD, Yearbook Club, Interact Club, and French Club. Lindsay possesses a unique ability to bring together different communities within the school. Congratulations, Lindsay. And Emma Johnson. Emma is a senior at East Islip High School. As the co-president of the National Honor Society, Emma has organized impactful leadership projects. She also serves as president of the Interact Club and is a member of the Key Club and RILA. Emma's leadership and enthusiasm make her an integral part of the success of the National Honor Society and a driving force for positive change in her school and her community. Congratulations, Emma.
So I do believe we have the principal from CI, Eric Harahunian. I do believe that's, or from East Islip High School, Mark Benoit, the principal. Are there any other staff from CI or East Islip that I missed? Any parents who want to come join us in the photo, please do.
Camera shy?
Thank you so much, Councilman O'Connor. And that takes us to West Islip High School, and we have two honorees. And first, I'd like to call up Amy McCann. Amy is a senior at West Islip High School. Beyond her academic achievement, Amy has exhibited exceptional leadership skills as the captain of her junior varsity tennis and lacrosse teams, and as the president of her graduating class. She also volunteers teaching religion at her local church and for the PTSA. Amy's compassion and inclusivity are further highlighted by her commitment to embracing students with different abilities. She fosters acceptance among her peers and makes a positive impact on the entire school community. And you know, they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Her parents are so involved in the community. Her dad serves on the Board of Education, and I know they're so proud of Amy as she is of them. Congratulations, Amy. And next we have Catherine Mushhorn. Catherine's an exceptional student at West Islip High School. Catherine's leadership qualities are evident through her involvement in multiple honor societies, her role as the president of the Science Olympiads, and her position as the vice president/student representative of the Parent Teacher Student Association. Catherine also excels in athletics, participating in varsity swimming, varsity bowling, and the Blue Thunder Soccer Club. Let's all congratulate both these young ladies. And do we have anyone here from West Islip? Any family want to come join us, please? Let's hear it one more time for all of our students. Okay, that concludes our portion of honorees. We just have a few announcements. One reminder that this coming Monday, April 22nd, is Earth Day, and I think we had some Keep Islip Clean volunteers as some of our honorees. It's an opportunity for all to reconnect on how we can do our part to remain good stewards of this most amazing planet. In Islip, protecting and improving the environment remains one of our top priorities, and we are proud of our town's long history working alongside residents to further our goals of preservation and sustainability. In addition to our robust curbside recycling program that goes back to the days of the garbage barge, believe it or not, we provide numerous initiatives to reduce waste and promote sustainability, including composting, educational programs, and community outreach events. On Tuesday, April 23rd at 10 a.m., the town of Islip, Keep Islip Clean, South Shore University Hospital, and the Islip Chamber of Commerce are joining together with Team Up to Clean Up. It's the annual cleanup of Spur Drive South from Brentwood Road to Fifth Avenue, and all are invited to come and support the effort to beautify and restore the cleanliness of our beloved community. And if the opportunity presents itself, be sure to take a stroll in one of our many parks, green spaces, beaches, or any of our other beautiful natural landmarks that define our town, and reflect on how we can all work together to keep Islip clean and keep Islip green. So let's celebrate Earth Day each and every day. Thank you so much. Good afternoon and good early evening. We're going to begin our meeting today with our scheduled public hearing for the board's consideration. I would ask the town clerk to please read the hearing notice.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Item number 1, to consider amending the Islip Uniform Traffic Code.
Are there any questions or comments? There are no speakers who have signed up to speak on this particular hearing. Hearing none. Motion? We have a motion by Councilman Guadrone, second. Second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. So we will move to the first item on the agenda, which are the Board of Cleanups. Jeff, if you would come forward. And as I said earlier, we have 14 of them. So if you would please go to number 14, which is 2368 Louis Kossuth.
Sure, and good
Avenue.
evening, Madam Supervisor, members of the Town Board, and the Town Clerk. My appearance is Jeffrey Panache, Assistant Town Attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip, New York. With respect to number 14 on today's agenda, to board and clean up the premises located at 2368 Louis Kossuth Avenue in Ronkonkoma. On this vacant property, there now exists litter and debris throughout the rear yard of the property, including rusty machinery, plastic containers, a 55-gallon drum, discarded bicycles and wagons, scattered yard furniture, numerous tires, and a white heater, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire safety and health hazard. As the board is probably aware, looking at the pictures, it appears within the last week that some sort of servicing agency has gone to the property and placed plywood over the windows and doors. However, the town is not sure that that plywood has been, and that boarding has been done appropriately at this time. There is a history at this property. As has already been mentioned, the Suffolk County Police Department has contacted our office. They've executed numerous warrants at the property. There was a fire there back in 2020. The house was rebuilt, and soon after that, there were immediate issues at that property location again concerning the access to the property and the using of the property by someone who's not the owner. The owner that we have of record has long been deceased. So the reason that the resolution is still being presented as a board up and cleanup resolution at this time is mainly because the town's not sure that that boarding was done correctly, and if it's taken off, these issues could present themselves immediately again, and the town would have to restart this whole notice process, which would not allow us to address the issue in a timely manner. Of course, if the board votes to approve the resolution and the board up work is determined to be okay and it's not needed, then our agency that handles that, our outside agency that does that, wouldn't take action on the property with respect to that. However, the cleanup issues still persist, and notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this property.
Well, as you said, it does look like there are boards. They don't look like we normally see. They don't look all that secure. So obviously, and the cleanup hasn't been done. There's a lot that still needs to be done, and to be certain that it is securely boarded up so that someone does not go in there.
So that,
Councilman O'Connor?
yeah, so that Jeff, so the residents are clear of what's going on. We have a contractor who we have contracted with, do our board up and cleanups. They will go out, check the board up, I think it's still SIPCO, but they'll go out and check the board ups, make sure it's appropriate so that it can't be compromised, and someone else will do the cleanup, and then those costs for those services will be billed back to the property owner as a lien against the property, so that someday in the future, when either a bank or some interest goes to sell that property, they will have to settle that score with the town.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions on this motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Jeff, continue.
Thank you. And going back to number 1, this has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 2, to board up and clean up the premises located at 7 East Chestnut Street in Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an accessory structure with missing doors allowing access to its interior, as well as overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Are there any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. Number 3 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 4, to board and clean up the premises located at 19 Mariana Place in East Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an opening in the west side wall of the dwelling, allowing access to its interior. Additional exterior walls of the dwelling that exist without the appropriate protective covering, an unsecure accessory structure, as well as overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Jeff, when was the last time this was checked for structural soundness? Because it certainly doesn't look like it is.
I'm not sure that it has been recently, but I will definitely let the chief investigator know in code
Please.
enforcement that he can contact.
Sure.
I know, I don't want to embellish. I'm working as best I can from the memory, what little memory I have left, but this being my 7th year here, I think this is the 3rd time that this house has been on before us for a board up and cleanup. So it appears that previous efforts on the town's behalf to board up and clean up this property have been compromised. One of the doors was ripped off. There appears to be some rubbish from the photos depicted, and if the photos are accurate and the process is consistent, these photos are usually taken within 48 hours of this meeting, so these are recent photos. And I would just ask, one, if we could get a little bit of a history, I know you probably don't have it, but the fire marshal might, as to how many times this has been on before us for a board up and cleanup, and what further needs to happen before we can demo this. I know there are rules, I know there are things that have to happen from the chief building inspector as it relates to determination, as we talked about with respect to the building being compromised or unsafe before we can demo it. But I think the community has looked at this for a long time, Jeff. So if there's anything that we can do to move this towards a demo, I would encourage that.
Okay, and I can pass that message along. And I will say the history of this property obviously is pretty extensive.
I don't know if you know
I mean,
it, but
when we
it backs up to a schoolyard. It's right behind the JFK Elementary School. So the kids who go out in the playground look at this every day.
Right, and oftentimes when there's a change in ownership, we have to restart the resolution process. We can't act on the existing resolutions when there's been a change in ownership.
I appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions on this particular parcel?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor. I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 5 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 6, to board up the premises located at 56 Orange Street in Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists a hole that is present in the upper portion of the east side wall of the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with the property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 7, which was detailing 7040 4th Street in Islip, has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 8 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 9 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 10, to board up the premises located at 230 Seaman Avenue in Bayport. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an opening in the west side of the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing, was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion. Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 11 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 12, to board and clean up the premises located at 905 Manor Lane in Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an in-ground pool containing a cover that is filled with stagnant water, as well as litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. And number 13 has also been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Okay. We will now move to item 2 on the agenda, the appropriation transfers. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion? Motion by Councilman McElway, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Next is item 3. Authorization for supervisor to enter into a license agreement for 2 parcels of town-owned bay bottom land for the purpose of shellfish cultivation in the Great South Bay. Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 4 are the bid awards. Any questions? Motion by Councilman McElway. I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 5, option year resolutions. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 6, town board approval for the participation with school districts and other municipalities in Islip and Brookhaven in the joint bidding of goods and services. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 7, town board approval to rescind the contract with Precise Metal Welding for roll-off containers, and that's contract 922-153. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Oh, I just thought of something. I meant to clarify it at the end of the public portion when the gentleman was questioning Councilman McElway. Just for a point of information, there is sufficient parking for that apartment that was approved, and it is not 5 stories, it is 4 stories. So just let the record reflect that, please. Next, item 8, authorization for the supervisor to execute an agreement with Suffolk County Department of Public Works to install a traffic signal on East Suffolk Avenue and Sycamore Avenue in central Islip. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 10 is town board, I'm sorry. And they're stuck together. Item number 9, authorization with supervisor to execute a professional services agreement with L.K. McLean Associates in connection with Phase 2 of the Champlain Creek Marina redevelopment project. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 10, town board approval to symbolically rename Evergreen Avenue and Fulton Street in Brentwood to firefighter Marcus Ledesima Way. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item 11, authorization of the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider amending the Town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 12, authorization for the supervisor to enter into various agreements for programs or events to be held throughout the Town of Islip. Lots happening across the town, for sure. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 13, authorization with supervisor to execute a contract with A&L Blacktop, Inc. for DPW 5-2024, furnish and install seal coat on various town parking lots. Any question?
Motion.
Hearing none. Motion? By Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 14, Authorization for supervisor to execute a professional services agreement with L.K. McLean Associates in connection with the Atlantic Breakwater Project. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 15, acceptance of a donation of various items from Islip Food for Hope to be used for the 2024 Thanksgiving Basket Program. Just a heartfelt thank you to everyone that contributed. I know our employees were involved, and the Islip Food for Hope organization does a really remarkable job, so thank you to all involved. Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 16, acceptance of a donation of approximately 200 influenza vaccines from Catholic Health, Good Samaritan University Hospital, to be offered to senior citizens or annual senior health fair. Carol, thank you very much for helping coordinate this at our centers. I'll make that motion. Second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? I'm sorry, what?
Aye.
All in favor. That's a good thing. Item 17, acceptance of a monetary donation of approximately $1,000 from Keep Islip Clean and authorization for the supervisor to sign any and all documents in connection with the Great American Cleanup. Any question? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. It's interesting, Keep Islip Clean is an affiliate of the Great American Cleanup, and I think we are one of the few in the state that are affiliated with Keep America Beautiful. We're the only one. Thank you very much, Madeline, and thank you for your efforts. Did I call the vote on that?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved unanimously. And again, thank you to Keep Islip Clean. Item 18, authorization with the supervisor to execute any and all documents to exercise the second option, extending the contract with Simbrandt Aviation Services for contract DAT 2021-006, automotive door preventive maintenance and repair contract at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 19 are the special events. Again, there's a zillion walks, runs, parades, an exciting time. Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor?
All right. I'm just on item C and U specifically, I'm going to abstain because I was previously involved with those organizations.
Oh, okay.
But I do approve all other events.
Okay, can we just pull out one item, or is it as a whole? I think you're going to have to abstain on all, otherwise I'm
Okay.
going to have to do a roll call on each one.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's fine, I can abstain.
Thank you. Thank you, appreciate that.
I'm
Well,
abstaining.
there's a motion. Who made the motion?
That was
Linda will know.
Councilman Lorenzo.
Councilman Lorenzo made the motion, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor, 4. We have 1 abstention. Thank you. Item 20, acceptance of a donation of a 2002 Global Electronic Motor, a GEM low-speed vehicle, from the North Babylon Fire District to enhance the town's public safety operations within the parks, marinas, and beaches. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Guadrone. Second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 21, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to enact local law 1 of 2024, amending the Islip Town Code, Chapter 8. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 22, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider amending Chapters 37 and 68 of the Islip Town Code. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item 23, appointment of Patrick J. O'Farrell is a member of the Town of Islip Board of Assessment Review. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor. Second, I'm going to second that motion. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 24 is the bond resolution. We actually voted on this resolution at the last meeting. There were 14 bond resolutions. Unfortunately, one of the 14 did not get advertised, so even though we voted to approve it, it wasn't advertised, so it needs to be voted again. Nothing changed on it, except I do believe the term has been lessened. It went from 10 to 5 years. Are there any questions?
It's a roll call or no?
Yes, it's a roll call on the bond. So motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElroy, roll call on the vote.
Councilman Guadrone?
Yes.
Councilman McElroy?
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilman Lorenzo? Madam Supervisor?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item 25 is authorization for the town attorney to challenge certain state legislative acts and amendments made pursuant to Chapter 741 of the laws of 2023. Are there any questions on this? Hearing none. Certainly.
Yes, I understand that Town Attorney Mr. Walsh was not quite sure as to whether we should follow New York State law or the Federal Voting Rights Act. So I was under the impression that maybe we should postpone voting on this resolution just to get more information so that we, as a town, are not exposed to any lawsuits and any, unnecessary expenses.
Thank you very much, Councilman Guadrone. Town Attorney, I know this is to join a lawsuit that's already in place with 3 or 4 other municipalities, but if you would, please address the councilman's concerns so that we can feel comfortable going forward or tabling.
Certainly. So, one of the issues that was brought to my attention was the Flores stipulation, since that was just brought up by Councilman Guadrone. And when you read the stipulation, the settlement and the order that was signed by Judge Brown, what it indicates is that 4-year terms for each of the new ward district board members are to start in 2023. Actually, before that, I think in 21 it started, the councilmanic districts. And then starting in 2023, we're to have elections every 4 years thereafter. So I don't know how to reconcile that order with the state statute. So there seems to be a discrepancy between the Voting Rights Act and the New York State legislation. In addition to that, there also seems to be significant inconsistencies with the New York State Constitution, particularly Article 9. That section of the state constitution enumerates certain rights, powers, privileges, and immunities to local governments. And I don't see in there where this issue was left solely to the state legislature. And then, again, this is not an exhaustive list of issues that have been raised, but under former Supervisor Phil Nolan, we implemented term limits. Now, the statute seems to indicate, and I say seems because it's quite confusing, the rollout, the verbiage used. It seems to indicate that during the rollout, the terms that are imposed upon these board members, all of you, won't be included in this rollout. However, our local law that was passed pursuant to the New York State Home Rule, I mean, it's really strict. And what I mean by that is it's you each get 3 4-year terms in office, and that's it. So, and that was enacted pursuant to the New York State Home Rule statute. So there's reconciliation needed on that issue as well. And again, there's probably more, but I don't know how we get answers to that without going and asking a judge.
Switching to, if I can summarize, switching to even-year elections would mean somebody on this board is either going to get extended a year, despite the local home rule that prior members of this board passed limiting terms to 12 years, or they're going to be shorted a year, which seems to disenfranchise those people who had voted for those councilmen expecting that they would serve the third four-year term, or supervisor. Is that accurate?
But I thought law says that you cannot amend or alter an elected official's term once they're elected,
What would the
with the
statute
length
that
of
was...
the term that exists, you know.
Well, that's what it's, it's suggested in some of the opinions that you find, but you're all invited, I have a copy of it. Everyone's invited to read it. I don't see that they spelled that out that specifically.
So if we do decide to vote, if this vote does pass tonight, we will hopefully be getting an answer from a judge, is what you're saying,
Exactly.
with regards to this.
Right, and if all of these issues are resolved quickly by the court, we can withdraw from the lawsuit.
If we vote tonight to go forward, can we pull out at any time, even though we're joining others in a lawsuit? Can we say, oh, we're out now? Can we do that? Can we pull out at any time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Hearing none, is there a motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second. Second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have 4 in favor, 1 against. The motion carries. And that seems to be all that there is before us this evening. I'll entertain a motion.
I have
to
one
adjourn.
other that I would like to add. I'd like to make a motion for an authorization for the supervisor to enter into a license agreement with Burma Rides, Inc., DBA Fire Island Pedicabs. I have copies of it. Anybody needs?
Second.
No, thank you. Okay. Okay, on this particular, there's a motion to approve, yes? Did I hear a motion?
Motion.
And is there a second? Okay, so there's a motion and a second to approve.
Under Robert's rules, I think there's a discussion now on the motion that's been made and seconded. Is that accurate?
Yes, we can discuss the motion.
Okay, so I would like to add my 2 cents, if I may. I really think over the last 36 hours thinking about this, that this town board really needs to establish rules as to how to get items on the agenda and voted on. This, I do not agree, I don't agree with the process here. I think the idea is a terrific idea. I love the idea. I really don't like this process. It really needs to be better, and I would encourage the town attorney to look at our fellow municipalities who have rules that govern their town boards as to how motions get on and off the agenda. And I would support those sort of rules be implemented sooner rather than later, or we're just going to have this at every meeting. So that's it's not a question, it's just in the form of discussion on the motion. I think this board should really strongly be considering rules to govern itself as to how to get matters on the agenda. I was involved once before in an effort like this where something got taken at the end of the meeting, and I really don't like it. I think it should be an open process, vetting by everybody, should be part of everybody's briefing, and I would ask that we strongly consider, regardless of what happens with tonight's vote on this motion, we strongly consider adopting rules to govern ourselves.
Thank you, Councilman. I have to say I'm a little more than disappointed because I had heard that this was afoot, and I had asked the councilman if he would be willing to wait so that we could discuss it, to convene a meeting next week with public safety, as they have some concerns about it, with DPW, as there obviously are some concerns about safety issues on the roadways. Is this going to require some signage that has to be put in? And also to process, if we're leasing a piece of property for business purposes, it seems to me that we would have to do an RFP. There were a lot of questions without even having the opportunity to research the issue. And I thought the more appropriate way to go, since this is precedent setting, because we have not ever leased, a piece of grass adjacent to a parking lot for business purposes, it could set a precedent, a road that we might not want to go down without doing our due diligence. So, and apart from all of that, I do believe, to Councilman O'Connor's point, there is a note on the sponsor's memorandum that does say that all agenda submissions shall be reported to the town attorney no later than 14 days prior to the scheduled board meeting. So it seems that that's, contradicts something being, it's right on the top here. All submissions for placement on the town board meeting agenda must be accompanied by a sponsor's memorandum, which shall be covering document. All submissions must be reported to the town attorney no later than 14 days prior
So
to the
since I've been
scheduled
on the
town board
board,
meeting.
since I've been on the board, there have been multiple resolutions added in the 12th hour to our board meetings and our agenda. So
Well, that would
No,
be,
that's the-
that would be kind of similar to a certificate of necessity that you see at the county legislature, but when those items are
all of them
are added,
necessity? All of
excuse
them
me?
is- All of them are necessity-based? I just,
No,
I
no,
think
no,
that,
it's a term of art, a certificate of necessity, when you bring a resolution forward.
well, if the law states that it's 14 days, then we should follow the law for all of them, not just certain ones. That's my opinion on it.
And I would say to the statement, when things are added at the last minute, like a bond resolution, et cetera, that is advertised on the website, is it not?
I believe it is, yeah.
Well, it is.
I don't double-check the
We're
website.
not talking about the bond, I'm not talking about the bond resolution that we already voted on and went back on. I'm talking about other resolutions that are put on multiple times within the last few days prior to 14 days being notified. So I just say, all I'm stating is that if that's the law, I'm not here to break any laws. So I think we should look back at what we vote on, and if it's not 14 days, we need to take care of that and pull that off, if that's what you're stating is the law.
Well, I think that that speaks to Councilman O'Connor's statement about having clear-cut, procedures in place for how we, govern, how we run the meetings, et cetera.
I just have
Councilman O-
one question of the town attorney, if I may. I learned about this at about 4:30 yesterday and been trying to become a fast study as quickly as I can about both the operations involved with the resolution and the legalities. My question of the town attorney is, by passing the resolution tonight, it doesn't, there are still certain things that have to happen between us and the licensee. And I'm using that term specifically because, as I understand it and have learned in the last 36 hours, that this is a license agreement and not a lease. Between us and the licensee, specifically as it relates to insurance requirements. I'm concerned when we're putting pedicabs on the road against vehicles with two people in the back of a pedicab that this program needs to be adequately insured. And some of the things that I learned today lead me to believe in my other life that it would be woefully uninsured. So we can still negotiate with the potential licensee as to what the insurance requirements would be, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
If I may, also, the resolution for the voting rights, were just included recently. So it seems like Councilman O'Connor is right into the point that we should have a very clear protocol as to how to introduce, resolutions to be added to the agenda for discussion and adoption. So, and also there are some other questions that I have about the resolution that Councilman McKelvey is intending to introduce for discussion. And I believe that if we agree that we are not going to just table the resolution and put it under the table and forget about it, then maybe just a month, or waiting and getting more information on it, maybe it should suffice all of us, all of the members here at the town board. Also, Town Attorney Walsh. Now, I understand that Councilman McElwee indicated that if we do not take this resolution and adopt it or reject it, that the supposed licensee can start operating without our, permission. So, or if I am, incorrect, please, now is the time for you to correct me, Councilman McElwee.
Yes, that's through so as the freshman councilman, this is a project that I've worked on since January, and I've been in contact. We had multiple meetings with the town attorney. I spoke with code enforcement. I kind of went over with everyone the goal and the plan here. I thought I was following the actual procedure. This really was, I think it was item number 17 on the original town board agenda, and then it was pulled. So I was following every process that I thought I needed to do, clearing with the town attorney. We did, I even spoke with the town attorney this morning, as Jim had concerns about, has this ever been done before? And it's a similar situation that we do with the Fire Island water taxis, and that does not go out for RFP. It's allowing them to pick up and drop off on a piece of town property.
It's, if I could, this, to Councilman O'Connor's concerns about insurance. If we are engaging with this licensee, or however you want to put it, without doing an RFP or whatever, which I still think is totally wrong, because this is not just licensing a piece of property to store things on. It has been stated that they're going to be conducting their business from there. So we're giving them a place to do their business. If, God forbid, these pedicabs go up and down Maple Avenue, which anybody that goes to the ferries or goes down that road on the weekend knows how treacherous it can be when the ferries are just coming in or someone's racing down Maple to get to a ferry. The bike lanes are narrow. If cars are coming in each direction, the thought of a pedicab with passengers in it that could easily get run over. Now, if we've granted permission for them to operate on our property, we are prime candidates for a lawsuit. We've aided and abetted this business. If the guy can go off on his own and start operating, God bless him. Let him do it. But why do we want to encumber the town and put ourselves, God knows we get, how many lawsuits do we get, town attorney?
Yeah,
And they don't
quite a
sue
few.
for $100. We're talking millions and millions of dollars that we're going to be liable for.
I would have to assume that the insurance will name the town of Islip as additional insured if he's licensed and insured to operate this. It happens all the time. You're talking about a pedicab, if you want to call it that, but it's an electric bike that probably holds two people on the back of it to go down there.
Right,
We spent
exactly.
millions and millions and millions of dollars on bike lanes on Maple Avenue, and this gentleman is just trying to conduct business. I believe we're business friendly. I believe this is a great idea. I also believe through Councilman McElwee that this is only a year contract, so we can check it out within the year and see how it goes and see what happens. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Councilman, if it doesn't work out, the gentleman's willing and able to cease business.
Yes,
I don't see-
and in terms of the insurance too, I know Jim called. We spoke at length about the insurance today, and the policy is $1 million, $2 million. There is optional policies, and I believe me, to the town attorney, we can require higher coverage limits.
Question is,
Wait a minute. This is not a free-for-all, okay? One at a time.
So, look, we're getting into the weeds of how the town attorney's office negotiates agreements. Certainly, a $1 million policy with a $2 million umbrella is insufficient. But I rely on opinions from our insurance professionals. We might even undertake some research to see how these types of things, how they're rated. If the town board wants, I will send an email to all of you saying what I think an appropriate level of insurance ought to be.
I don't think we I don't think we need to micromanage at that level, and that wasn't what my comment was for. I was trying to learn because I was presented with something at the 11th hour, and I learned a lot. And I learned that I saw an insurance quote that said it was a $1 million, $2 million, which is a $1 million per occurrence, $2 million aggregate. On the 5th page of the quote that I was presented with, it showed that there was an option for, I believe it was called Maple Avenue Rides, to buy an excess policy, and it's talked about the different levels of excess they would be required to have. I would encourage that. I think that's the appropriate thing that they should have. I don't think this program should be operating underinsured at risk to the town taxpayer. That's why I'm suggesting that the negotiations with the proposed licensee on the insurance issue be part of this process.
If I may, wouldn't it be prudent, appropriate, and wise to have maybe a public, hearing about this issue to see how the residents of that area specifically feel about it?
That's an interesting concept, the residents elect us to do our due diligence and protect them, but that might be interesting way to handle it. But I think that all of the particulars that Councilman O'Connor said that he saw, I know I didn't see any of that backup. And I think for us to rush and approve this license agreement at this point without having all of those questions answered, and code enforcement, public safety, and I'm sorry that the commissioner is not here to address it, because the discussions that I had with him earlier and discussions he had with the precinct, they were concerned. There's a pedicab operation, I believe, I just learned this today, in Patchogue that has caused some issues and problems. Maple Avenue is a narrow road. That bike lane is not designed for an electric bike with a basket in the back that's going to hold 2 adults. That's far wider than a single bike is. And I think that we should do, what we're elected to do and is protect the taxpayers of this town and not engage them in possible liability without doing our due diligence. And the councilman who's proposing this, who's been working on it for months, I wish you had said something earlier. However, you said it yourself. He can start riding this pedicab tomorrow. Well, let him do it, and then we can see what we need to do. We can see if we need to put signage along Maple Avenue. We can see what the appropriate location might be for him to be selling the tickets to get on the pedicab. Where are the locations going to be for where he's picking up and dropping off? I mean, there are so many unanswered questions that I think that the more appropriate and proper thing to do is to make a motion to table. It's only April. We can have a meeting next week and have everyone involved that has a stake in this, DPW, traffic safety, the Commissioner of Public Safety, the precinct commander, because we are not responsible for maintaining traffic laws on the roadways. That is the purview of the precinct, the sector cars. So I think all of those discussions, all of those answers, and obviously, if they're doing it in Patchogue, we can do it here, but let's do it the right way. So I'm going to make a motion to table. Do I have a second?
I think that if we are making a commitment to discuss this further and with the certainty that this is going to be included in the next town board meeting agenda, I will second it.
I appreciate that, and I'll go one step further. If we can get that meeting convened next week and we can get all of these all these questions answered, I would certainly entertain convening a special meeting, because I know everyone's around and it really isn't a big deal, but we could convene a special meeting and address the resolution then.
I have just one quick thing to say. I'm not for allowing people that are trying to do the right thing, small business owners that are trying to do the right thing, just act and open business and do what they want to do down there. This gentleman's trying to do the right thing. Councilman McElway, according to him, has done his due diligence, speaking with commissioners, speaking with town attorney's office. We have so much more insurance that we have to deal with and discuss and talk about with the licensee, as Councilman O'Connor stated. I just don't see a reason to table this tonight. I think we should move forward. We are business friendly. It is April. May comes real quick, and we all know people love to enjoy Fire Island. So that's my opinion on it.
I can appreciate that, but this certainly is not being business unfriendly. I think that we all know that Islip has a reputation of being business friendly. However, we're not stopping him from doing his business. What this resolution is doing is binding the town to a business owner that we don't necessarily have all of the Ts crossed and the Is dotted.
I think,
We do not. We do not. And again, public safety had concerns. He spoke with the precinct commander earlier today. They have concerns about it. And I think we have a right. Public safety has to come first. We cannot jeopardize the safety of our residents going up and down Maple Avenue. We can't jeopardize the fiscal integrity of the town in binding us to a business that might cause us to be the recipients of being named in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit when someone's leg is severed going down Maple Avenue.
you know, I spoke with the Commissioner of Code Enforcement and let him know that this was coming up on the agenda this month. He said, okay. I've spent at length multiple meetings with the town attorney, back and forth. We went through the clerk's office to find out what licensing, and we basically, in the end, the town attorney came back and said that it was a license agreement for the piece of property for the pickup and drop-off. It's no different than what we do with the water taxis. We don't get involved in the water taxis and what they do. So it is. The only person that was not checked was Suffolk County Police Department, but generally we don't engage them in leases of town property. And that's what the ultimate issue is here.
Leasing of the town property for a business could rise to the level of requiring an RFP.
And
We're
I
not
checked-
just letting, this is not like giving them a license agreement to use right-of-way for a grease trap. This is far greater than that and could really open us up to liability. And I cannot, for the life of me, understand why you can't wait a week to get all of these questions really answered and do this the right way.
We can wait a week, you know. However, we did all of this with the town attorney. I spoke to the town attorney this morning in turning Municipal Code 103. We're not required to put out an RFP. It does not qualify for that, based on the amount of the rent and the overall scope of it. It does not require an RFP.
And that's another issue. The amount of the rent is far less than it really should be, to be quite honest with you. We charge $2,500 for a grease trap. And this is proposing, if I remember correctly, $1,000.
And I defer to the town attorneys that came up with those numbers.
Well, this is something that should have been consulted with the controller, quite frankly. And did we do an appraisal to see if that was an adequate fee for leasing that property for business purposes?
I just want to make clear, I'm under the impression that it's a little table and an umbrella where they would just come and pick up it would just be almost like a meeting point. It's not like this place where they're coming in and having cash registers and bringing people up in lines. They come, they meet to this umbrella and a table, if I'm wrong, correct me,
correct.
please, and they leave. So I'm not sure
But
it's
again,
that whole...
the whole purpose of saying that you are, as the town, you're like giving buy-in to this. You're saying to them, okay, come sit on my town property here. It's okay. You can sell tickets. All right. Susie and Johnny are going to go get in this little rickshaw, and they're going to go down on an electric bike, which is going to go a lot faster than a pedicab would. And you're going to go down Main Street as a car's coming, racing to get to the ferry or from the ferry, and someone gets in an accident.
You're assuming all this. South
But
Bay
it's-
Water Taxi
But
pulls up
you
on the dock.
need to, please
South Bay Water Taxi pulls up on a dock every night, and charges people as they walk over that bow rail, and it's the same thing, it's just the boat's on the water, and this guy's on a bike. That's the only difference that I see. That's why I'm not trying to be difficult, but that argument to me doesn't go very far, because we do it already, and we didn't have an RFP, I believe. Maybe the town attorney can confirm that. And we do it already with South Bay Water Taxi. This is a small seasonal, cool vibe business to be in Bay Shore. I think it's great.
And it was, so we did do the vetting that it is, the bikes are street legal. They can drive on the road. They have to follow the speed limits. They can't fly down the road. They have to follow all things. They have lights. They have everything they need to be on the bike for legal. And the other point that, we are trying to make is these guys are coming to us trying to help us service too, to move some traffic in the Maple Avenue Marina that we've already had issues with traffic backing up down there.
Mr. Town Attorney, I am not an attorney, thank God. However, I do believe that a case can be made that an RFP should be had for this. And I want to see a legal opinion that says we don't need one. And I still think it is more prudent and truly protecting the taxpayers of this town to table this resolution. And we can get those questions answered by next week, and we can convene a special meeting. But do this the right way. Don't set a precedent to do this haphazardly, trying to pull something out at the last minute.
It was
just
done the right way. It was on the agenda last week.
With no backup. With no backup.
It was pulled.
Mr. Lorenzo.
It was pulled.
Mr. Lorenzo, I know, okay? There was no backup. Okay, we have a motion and a second to table. All in favor of the tabling?
No.
Okay, the tabling fails. Who made that motion?
I did.
Councilman McElway made the motion to approve. Second by Councilman Lorenzo. Roll call on the vote.
Councilman McElway.
Yes.
Councilman Lorenzo.
Yes.
Councilman Guadron.
Abstain.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Madam Supervisor.
No. The resolution passes. Motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor, opposed, we're adjourned.